Hello everyone. So today I'm gonna talk about data pre-processing in machine learning. So in this particular video, we are going mainly we are going to focus on what is data pre-processing. Okay. So why do we need data processing in machine learning? What are the steps involved in the machine learning before the data pre-processing? We are going to talk about steps like getting the data set, like from where to get the data set. So I will talk about some of the resources where we can get the data set. Then how do we import the libraries, how do we import the data set, finding the meshing values. Okay, so in the data set we will get a lot of meshing values. So for that, how we are going to treat meshing values, I'm going to talk about it. And then we are going to talk about encoding the categorical data. Then also we will talk about splitting data set into the train and test set. So why do we need this train data and test data? I'm going to talk about this one today. And also lastly, I will talk about the feature scaling. Okay, so before that, we need to know what is data pre-processing in machine learning. So data pre-processing is a process of preparing the raw data and making it suitable for a machine learning model. So we can say process of preparing raw data. Okay, so what we can say here is data pre-processing is a process of preparing raw data and making it suitable for a machine learning model. So we can say that this is the very first step. Okay, so this is the very first step of creating a machine learning model. So when creating a machine learning model, so it is not always a case, but that when we come across the clean and formatted data, so we definitely don't get a clean and formatted data. So data pre-processing is very must. And while doing with operation with data, so it is mandatory to clean it and put it in a formatted way so that we can get a good accuracy and good result while preparing the machine learning model. Okay, so in general what we can say is the data contains so many noises, meshing values. So what data sense in general contains, it contains noises. Okay, meshing values, missing values, uh, maybe some unusable format, we can say unusual format. Okay, so if this kind of data is there in your data set, then we cannot directly use into the machine learning model. So for that resolution, we can use data pre-processing. So data pre-processing is required task for cleaning the data and making it suitable for a machine learning model. So why it is important? So it increases the accuracy and efficiency of a machine learning model. So after treating all this, we will get accuracy. Accuracy will increase, and also efficiency. Okay, accuracy and efficiency both will increase. Accuracy and increase of machine learning model. Okay, so now I'm going to talk about what are the various steps which are involved in the data pre-processing part. So uh, first step is to get the data set. Okay, so I will talk about how to get the data set. So uh, very two common sites. First one is Kaggle, and another one is UCI. UCI. I guess most of you heard about the Kaggle, but not UCI. So these are very two important websites where you can get the data set. So this is the very first step. Okay. So data set may be different formats for different purposes, such as if we want to create a machine learning model for business purposes, then the data set will be different with data set required for a liver patient. So each data set is different from another data set. There are very different formats. So like usually we get data set into a CSV file. Okay, CSV. Okay, I'm gonna write here CSV file. Okay, okay, but in sometimes we also got a data set into HTML or XLSX for file. Okay, in this format we also got data set sometimes like usually we get the data set into CSV format. Okay, so I think most of you know about the CSL. So CSV, what is CSV? So CSV, we can say CSV stands for comma separated values. Okay, I'm gonna write it here. Comma separated values. So it is a file format which allows you to save the data into tabular format, such as spreadsheets, such as a spreadsheet. Such as speed. So it is very useful for use data sets, and also can be used these data sets in program. We can use this data set into program. So we will use um, not here, like in this another video we are going to use some data files, and where I will show you how we can use all those data sets for pre-processing part. Okay. So another part is importing libraries. So first one we can say the first part, and the second pre-processing step is importing libraries. Okay, so this is the second pre-processing step. So in order to perform data pre-processing using Python, okay, we need to import some predefined Python libraries. Okay, Python libraries. Okay, so these libraries are used to perform some specific jobs. So there are like three specific library I'm gonna show you that will use for data pre-processing. So first one is a very basic library, NumPy, and second one is Matplotlib. Matplotlib, and another one is Pandas. Very important. Yes, very important library. Okay, so what NumPy do here is NumPy is a Python library is used for including any type of mathematical operations. Okay, so what mainly do is it performs mathematical operations. Okay, so it is a fundamental package of scientific calculation in Python, and also it supports large data, multi-dimensional arrays and matrices. And I want to let you know that how to import NumPy. So we can use this code, import NumPy as NP. So what is NP here? So NP is an alias here, alias. So we can also use another terms here, but standardized we are generally using NP for importing the NumPy library. So what is NP here? So NP is alias here. Likewise, for importing MATLAB, so we can use here is uh, import import matplotlib dot pyplot as plt plt plt. Okay, so usually the second library I'm talking about here is matplotlib. Okay, so it is a 2D Python 2D plotting library. So with this library, we need to import sub library pyplot. So this library is used to plot any type of charts in Python for the code. So I told you how to import this. Okay, and for pandas, so pandas is like a very important library, which is one of the most famous Python library we can say, and used for importing importing and managing the data set. It is used for importing and managing the data set. Importing and managing the data set. Okay, so how we can import pandas library? So we can import it as import pandas as pd. This is a very standard. So here also we can say pd as it is a alias here. So we can use another term also, but in general we are using pd here. Now third one, I'm gonna talk about how to import the data set. Okay, third one I'm gonna talk about importing load the data sets. So we need to import the data set which we have collected for our machine learning project. So but before importing a data set, we need to set the current directory as a working directory. So whatever id you are using, you have to use some process. Okay, some steps you have to follow. So like you have to save your python file into directory which contains the data set, and then you can go to the file explorer option, whatever id you are using, and then select the required directory. Then again you have to execute the file. So some of the functions are read underscore csv function. So what this function do is it will import your data set. So like suppose we are example, we are taking data is equal to pd dot read underscore csv, or whatever data set you are using. Like if you are using superset data, supermarket data set, supermarket data set. So this is your data set file, and likewise you can import this data set. So this is a standard code for importing the data set. So here the data is just the name of the variable, name of the variable. This is just to store our data set, which is a supermarket.csv data set. Okay, so once we execute this line, we will successfully import the data set in our whatever id we are using. Okay, I will show you each and every code into the Google Colab notebook. Okay. Now I'm gonna talk about how to handle the missing value. So fourth step is very important step. So handle missing values. Okay, handling missing values or data set. We can say data here. Okay. So this is the next step of data preprocessing part to handle missing data into the data set. So if our data set contains some of the missing data, then then it create a huge problem for our machine learning model. So it is very necessary to handle missing values present in our data set. So there are particular steps by which we can handle the missing values. So first step we can say by deleting the particular row. Okay, by deleting the particular row. Okay, by this method we can do that. So we can say this is the very first and very common method to deal with the null value. So in this way we just delete the specific row or columns which consist of null values. But this way it is actually not so efficient, and removing data may lead to loss of information which will not give the accurate option. So we have another option is by calculating the mean. Okay, so we can say calculating calculating the mean. Okay, this is another way to deal with the missing values in the data set. So in this way we will calculate the mean of that column or row. Okay, let's suppose we have some data set here. So we calculate the mean, median, mode of those values. Okay, and we'll put it one of the place where missing values are there. So let's suppose here this is missing value. So we can whatever we have calculated the mean values, we are going to we are going to uh, यहाँ पे उसको we will put it down. Okay, so this strategy is useful for the features which have numeric data such as age, salary, year. Numeric data, we can say the age is also a numeric data, salary is also a numeric data, year is also a numeric data. So for that we can use a psychic library, which I'm gonna tell you later how to use the psychic library for that. Now the fifth step is let me change. So the fifth step is encoding categorical data. So categorical data which had some categories such as if you are taking a data set in which country column is there, purchase column is there. So this can be considered as a categorical values where uh, categories, some kind of categories are there. So since a machine learning model completely works on mathematics and numbers, so if our data set would have a categorical value, then it may create trouble while building a model. So it is necessary to encode these categorical variables into the number. Okay, so for that we can use a level encoder. Okay, level encoder. We can use this level encoder. Okay, encoder. Okay. So for that we have some pre-processing libraries also there for level encoding. Okay, which I'm gonna tell you later. But now we are just doing the basic part. Okay, very basic part. Likewise, I will talk about what is one hot encoder. One hot encoder. Okay, so I will tell you about all those things, how to do this encoding part. Okay, now the sixth one is sixth data pre-processing part is splitting. Splitting data set into train set and test set. Okay, train set and test set. Okay. So in machine learning, data pre-processing, we in machine learning data processing, we divide our data set into a training set and test set. So this is one of the very crucial step of data pre-processing, and by doing this, we can enhance the performance of our machine learning. So we are doing just to enhance the performance, enhance the performance, enhance the performance of ML model. Okay. Suppose if we are giving training to our machine learning model by a data set, and we test it by a completely different data set, then it will create difficulties for our model to understand the correlations between the model. So if we train our model very well, and its training accuracy is also very high, but we provide a new data set to it, then it will decrease the performance. So we always try to make a machine learning model which performs well with the training set and also with the test set. So if a data set, let's suppose we have a data set. So this is a data set. Okay. Data set. This is a data set here. So we are going to divide is at a training set and test set. Okay. We are going, so let's suppose if we are using this. Okay. So first we have to use this train set to train our model. Okay. Then we are going to use this so that we can check our model is performing well or not. Let's suppose uh, if we are going to train this, and but this one is not working, then how we can say that our model is working really really well? Without this we can't say that. Okay. So we can say a subset training set is a subset of data set to train the machine learning model. Okay. And a test set is a subset of data set to test the machine learning model. Okay. And in the later video we will also talk about how to split the data set using some of the code. So I will talk about that. Okay. Now the last step is seventh step is feature scaling. Feature scaling. Okay. So feature scaling is the final step of data pre-processing. Okay. This is the final step data in okay. So it is a technique to standardize the independent variables of the data set in a specific range. So in feature scaling, we put our variables in some range and in the same scale, so that no any variable dominate the other variable. Okay. So feature scaling can be performed using Euclidean distance. Some standardization process are there. Okay. So mainly we can say there are two ways only. Okay. Um, Two ways. Okay. Two ways to perform feature scaling. Okay. In machine learning, we have two ways to perform the feature scaling. First one is standardization, and second one is normalization. Okay. So I'm gonna tell you about this one, how to do standardization, how to do normalization in a later video. Okay. So now these are the some of the very important step for data pre-processing part, which we always need to remember before creating any machine learning model. Okay. Thank you so much.